Let's go over ARYA Pro. Here we have your MT4 platform. I've decided to look at GBP USD and I'm looking in the unit of time H1. To launch ARYA Pro, click down here and drag it onto the chart. Here you will see all of the parameters that you need to set in order for ARYA Pro to enter into a position. There are 4 steps. Step 1 is trade direction, Step 2 money management, Step 3 trade management, and Step 4 the advanced settings. Let's go through each one. For your position mode, you can choose between visual mode or buy and sell. We recommend you choose visual mode because it will mean you can see both the performance box and the buy and sell buttons, like this. Next we have entry type. You can choose between automatic, market execution, limit order, or a stop limit order. Following a fractal logic, ARYA will place an order automatically. If you choose market execution, ARYA will instantly place an order when you click on the buy or sell buttons. If you choose a limit order, this is the price at which you would like ARYA to enter into a position. You can define the price in the limit price field, just here. To buy, the set price must be below the current market price, and to sell, the set price must be above the current market price. Let's take an example. The current market price is 1.39. If I would like ARYA Pro to enter into a buy trade, I can set the limit price anything below 1.389. For example, 1.35. The stop limit order entry type is the inverse to the limit order. Again, set the price at which you would like ARYA Pro to enter into a position, and you put it in the limit price field. However, to enter into a buy trade, the set price must be above the current market price, and to sell, the set price must be below the current market price. So 1.35 would be an ideal price to set if you were to enter into a sell trade. Next we come on to the entry time frame. This parameter allows you to enter a position on a different unit of time to the one that you are actually viewing. You can choose from current all the way up to 1 month, or MN. These here correspond to these here. For example, you can ask ARYA to monitor candles and enter into a position on M15 while I'm actually viewing H1. Or you can select current and ARYA will work on the unit of time that you are viewing. The entry point buffer allows you to shift your entry point by a few points. For example, if you input 5, ARYA will wait to enter into the position when the market has moved 5 points past the confirmed fractal. Coming on to step 2, which is money management. Your risk per trade is the amount of capital you would like to put on your specific trade. You can choose anything from 0.125% or very conservative, all the way up to 2% or very aggressive. When you're first starting out, we recommend that you choose a percentage around this area. For example, if you choose very conservative and your capital is £5,000, ARYA will take a position where 0.125% of that capital is invested and 0.125% of your capital is, in other words, at risk. You will be risking £6.25 on that specific trade. Coming on to max loss daily. This is permanently set at 2% of your account balance. This is the maximum number of losses that you can have in one day, and it applies to all assets combined where ARYA is activated. ARYA will stop trading when you've lost 2% of your capital in one day. You can, however, modify your maximum profit daily, just here. This is the maximum gain that you can have in one day in a percentage, and again applies to all assets combined where ARYA is activated. You can choose from none all the way up to 5%. This parameter is used to prevent overtrading. ARYA will take into account all of that day's closed positions to determine if it can continue trading or not. If a max profit of 0.5% is set, ARYA will stop trading and secure the capital when you've gained 0.5% of your account balance in one day. Max loss weekly is the maximum loss of capital per week and all assets combined. Choose from none up to 10%. If you choose 5, ARYA will stop trading when you have lost 5% of your capital in 1 week. In the same way, max profit weekly, you can choose from none all the way up to 10%. If you choose 10%, ARYA will stop trading and secure the capital when you've gained 10% during that week. Max loss monthly is the maximum loss per month on all assets combined. You can choose from none all the way up to 20%. Say for example you choose 4%, ARYA will stop trading when you lose 4% of your capital in 1 month. Max profit monthly is the maximum gains per month on all assets combined. If you choose 6%, ARYA will stop trading and secure the capital when you've gained 6% over that month. Define the consecutive loss parameter, which restricts the number of losses that you can have consecutively. It applies per day and per asset. Choose from 1 consecutive loss all the way up to none, which is unlimited. If you choose 1, ARYA will stop trading when 1 loss has been realized. Similarly, if you choose 3, ARYA will stop trading when 3 consecutive losses have been realized. Even if you deactivate ARYA and restart it, ARYA will still take into account the day's trades. Similarly, set the consecutive win parameter to define the number of consecutive wins you will allow ARYA Pro to make. Choose from 1 up to none, which is unlimited. If you choose 1, ARYA will stop trading the asset when 1 win has been realized. Similarly, if you choose 5, ARYA will stop trading and secure your capital after 5 consecutive wins. Calculation equity is the percentage gain or loss of your current trades. It takes into account all open and closed positions. For small accounts, be very careful with leverage, as this function will not be suitable. You must have the same setting for all traded assets, so you must have either false for all or true for all. False is the default, where ARYA will only consider closed positions and does not take into account open positions for the calculation of the percentage gain or loss reached. If you choose true, all open assets must be defined as true for them to be taken into account for the calculation. Step 3 is defining your trade management. First is the stop loss type. Choose between point, volatility, day high-low, U, price, high-low custom, and percentage. This parameter will define the size of your stop loss. For a stop limit order and a limit order, the stop loss point, volatility, price, and percentage will work. Stop loss points allows you to define the stop loss in points. For stop loss volatility, you will have to define the stop loss time frame. Here, you will need to choose the unit of time you would like ARYA to consider the market's volatility. Anything from current, which we're on H1, or any other time frame. For example, we are in H1 right now, but I could choose a stop loss that takes into account the volatility of H4, for example. You will then have to define the multiplier of the volatility in the stop loss value field. For example, if you input 100 into the stop loss value, ARYA will multiply the volatility of H4 by 100. If you input 400, ARYA will multiply the volatility in H4 by 400. Next we come on to the stop loss type of day high-low. Here, the stop loss is placed on the highest and lowest points of the previous day. ARYA will continue to scan for the current day high-low points. The next type of stop loss is U. ARYA calculates an optimized stop loss based on U curves. You must choose the unit of time in which the stop loss will be applied. This is ideal for assets with a strong trend, and again, define in the stop loss time frame field. Next we come on to the stop loss type of price. Here you can enter a price at which you would like to exit the position or the take profit. High-low custom allows you to choose the unit of time you would wish ARYA to work in the stop loss time frame field. For high-low custom, you will need to choose the unit of time you wish ARYA to work in the stop loss time frame field. I've chosen H4. The high-low custom takes into account the highest and lowest point of the current candlestick in the chosen unit of time. Do not use this setting with small units of time. Your trade will be cut almost instantly. And the final stop loss type is percentage. The stop loss will be set as a percentage of the market price. If you set your stop loss percentage at 5, the stop loss will be calculated as 5% below if it's a buy trade, or above if it's a sell trade, the current market price. This is a good setting when trading your stocks. The stop loss point buffer allows you to move the stop loss by a few points. If you choose 5, the stop loss will be moved 5 points. The stop loss value will only work with the stop loss point, volatility, price, and percentage. Next we come on to the take profit type. You can choose between a profit factor, a smart take profit, or price. With the profit factor, ARYA will place the take profit based on the profit factor. The smart take profit depends on the value of the profit factor. According to the profit factor, ARYA will detect the next appropriate limit, a pivot point, a resistance or a support level, and place the take profit. Or choose price and set a price in the take profit price field, and your trade will be exited at that price. If you've selected profit factor in the take profit type, you can define the profit factor in this parameter. Choose between 1 and 25. The profit factor is the amount of gains in relation to the risk of each trade. ARYA will calculate the take profit or the exit point to ensure that your overall gains versus your overall losses meet your defined profit factor. If I risk 0.5% per position, this means that I will risk 0.5% of my capital to gain 1%. With a profit factor of 3, the same logic applies, except that I risk 0.5% of my capital to gain 1.5%. If I decide to choose the Smart Take Profit type, you will need to define the Smart Take Profit field. You can choose your Smart Take Profit from one of the drop-down options. With Automatic, ARYA will place the take profit on the most appropriate level. R stands for resistance and S stands for support. So you can choose your choice of level, and ARYA will place the take profit on the pivot point, resistance level, or the support level you have chosen. Then you will need to define the Smart Take Profit buffer. This only works with the Smart Take Profit. This parameter allows you to place your take profit a few pips above or below, depending on the direction of a buy or sell trade, the level detected by ARYA. The final take profit type is price. Enter the price at which you would like ARYA to enter into a position in the take profit price field. Then we come on to the different trailing modes. Here you can use a different type of trailing stop to secure your trades and minimize losses. On the chart, a purple line will indicate where the trailing stop will be triggered. This purple line symbolizes the activation line of the break-even trailing mode. The purple line is also applicable to trading modes, combo points, and combo fractal plus. If you choose none, no trailing stop will be applied. If you choose fractal, ARYA will identify fractals opposite to the trade direction chosen to position the trailing stop. If you decide to buy, then ARYA will position the trailing stop on the last confirmed inverse fractal. This type of trailing stop is most suitable when there is a strong trend. With Fractal Plus, ARYA will secure your winnings by shifting the stop loss onto fractals found only in the trade's profit zone. This is the area between your entry price and your take profit. With High-Low, ARYA will position the trailing stop at the bottom of the current candlestick if you are buying, or at the top of the current candlestick if you are selling. High-Low Plus applies only to candlesticks found in the profit zone, the area between your entry point and take profit. If you are buying, ARYA will position the trailing stop at the bottom of the current candlestick, or if you are selling, at the top of the current candlestick. With the trailing stop points, ARYA will secure profits with a trailing stop that is determined in points. It is triggered according to the percentage defined in the activation take profit distance. Once this level is reached, ARYA will apply the number of points entered in the trailing value here. For example, if you choose an activation take profit distance of 20% and a trailing value of 20, when 20% of the distance between the entry point and the take profit is reached, ARYA will automatically follow the market by 20 points and place the stop loss there. Next we have the break-even. You can choose a percentage in the activation take profit distance. Once this percentage has been reached by the market, your break-even trailing mode will be activated and your stop loss will move to 1% above if you're buying or 1% below if you're selling your entry price. For example, with break-even, if you enter a buy trade and your activation take profit distance is set at 20%, a purple line will indicate 20% of the distance between your entry and your take profit. When the market crosses this line, the trailing stop will be activated and the stop loss will be moved 1% above the trade's entry point. Combo Fractal Plus combines the two trailing modes, Fractal Plus and Break-Even. ARYA will secure your profits by shifting the stop loss to confirmed fractals in your profit zone, and will also shift the stop loss to break-even when the market has covered 50%. Again, 50% is the default value, but you can change it in the activation take profit distance field. Combo points is the combination of points and the break-even trailing mode. MA27 closes the trade when 20 and 7 moving averages cross one another in your profit zone. You can display both moving averages on the chart using the indicators here. The trailing mode for moving average plus closes the trade when the market price crosses the moving average, which is set in the trailing value field, but only if the trade is in the profit zone. The Ichimoku Tenkan, which is red, in a buy trade, ARYA will close the position when the market breaks the Tenkan, or the red line, and the candlestick closes below the line. If the candle closes above the Tenkan, or simply makes a wick but does not close, then nothing happens and the trade will not be cut off. When selling, this is the opposite. ARYA can close the position when the market breaks the Tenkan and the candle closes above the line. If the candle closes below the Tenkan, or simply makes a wick but does not close, then nothing happens and the trade will not be cut off. The Ichimoku Keijun, or the blue line, is the same process as the Ichimoku Tenkan, but with the Keijun blue line. The trailing time frame allows you to choose on which unit of time the trailing mode should activate. The default setting is current, which will activate the trailing mode on the graph you are viewing, but you can choose from any of the other UTs. For example, it is possible to choose an entry point in M15, but place the fractal plus trailing mode on the H1. The trailing point buffer allows you to move the initial trailing stop by a few points. Enter the value here. The trailing value will only work with the trailing mode point and moving average plus. The activation take profit distance will only work with trailing mode breakeven and the partial close. With the trailing mode breakeven, you can choose a percentage between 5 and 90%. For example, if you set 50% and 50% of the way between the entry point and the take profit has been reached and the breakeven activated, ARYA will move the stop loss 1% above the market entry price if it is a buy trade, or 1% below the market entry price if it's a sell trade. For partial close, you can select true or false. If true, you need to set the activation take profit distance. Again, choose between 5 and 90%. You can use the partial close with or without a trailing mode. If you choose a partial close of true and an activation take profit of 60, ARYA will cut half of the position and secure the gains when 60% of the way is covered between the entry point and the take profit. Partial close indivisible. You can choose if you would like to close part of your trade. True is the default. If the position is too small, ARYA cannot split and close part of your position. But if the position is large enough, ARYA will be able to split and close part of your trade. For example, if the position is 0.01 lots, and therefore indivisible, the partial close will have no effect. If the position is 0.02 lots, the position can be cut in half. If you select false, you can apply the partial close even for micro lots, but if the trade is indivisible, ARYA will simply close the position. Step 4 is the advanced settings. First, define your trend filter. This works with the moving average, pivot point, dual, Ichimoku, and RSI. If you choose the moving average, it will apply to the trend filter timeframe parameter, just here. The moving average will be calculated on the unit of time you've defined in the trend filter timeframe. If you've selected current, the UT you are viewing, which is H1 for me, will be the one in which the moving average is calculated. The moving average will depend on the chosen direction, buy or sell. To define the moving average, you need to define the parameter in the trend filter value, which is the number of periods taken into account. For example, if you're buying and the trend filter value is set to 14, ARYA will only identify buy signals above the moving average at 14 periods of time. The pivot point trend filter will depend on the chosen direction, whether you're buying or selling. For example, if you're buying, ARYA will only identify buy signals above the pivot point. Choose the dual trend filter to combine the moving average and pivot point filters. With Ichimoku, ARYA can buy if the market price is above the cloud, or sell if the market price is below the cloud. And finally, choose RSI, which is the Relative Strength Index indicator, and shows the current strength or weakness of the market based on closing prices of recent trading periods. You can input your chosen levels where you would like ARYA to buy and sell in the trend filter value field. Input your chosen levels where you would like ARYA to buy or sell in the level filter section. Input your chosen levels where you would like ARYA to buy or sell in the trend filter value field. For example, you can choose 70 and 35 so that ARYA can buy if the RSI is above 70 and sell if the RSI is below 35. The trend filter timeframe is where you can set the time unit you want ARYA to apply the trend filter. For example, if you want to use the pivot point filter and H1 is selected in the trend filter timeframe, ARYA will only take the H1 pivot points into account. Level filter can either be true or false. It defines the area you want ARYA to look for entry points and can trade. If you select true, you can define the level high and the level low. The level high is the upper limit and the level low is the lower limit. For example, with the current market price of 1.390, I could choose a level high of 1.4 and a level low of 1.38, and ARYA will only identify buying opportunities between these two boundaries. If you choose market close and true, ARYA will automatically close open positions 5 minutes before the market closes. Use the over weekend filter, and ARYA will cut off orders and close positions 5 minutes before the market closes on a Friday. ARYA will resume trading at market opening on Monday. Next, we have the clock filter. If you select true, you can frame your trading time. ARYA will only look for opportunities to enter into the market during the set time frame. The start time is the time on your broker's platform, which you can find here, that you want ARYA to start assisting you. The end time is the time on your broker's platform where you would like ARYA to stop assisting you. Set clock rewind as true, and ARYA will consider buying and selling opportunities before the set start time. ARYA can take previously confirmed fractals into account, but will only place an order at the set start time. Select the timer filter as true to time the duration of your trade. This will only work in visual mode. With timer filter minutes, you can define the number of minutes ARYA can trade. At the end of the timer, ARYA will deactivate. If a trade is in progress, it will be managed according to the stop loss, take profit, and trailing mode that you have set. If no trade has been triggered in that time frame, ARYA will simply deactivate and no trades will be taken. If you set the close all to true, at the end of the clock filter or time filter limit, ARYA will close all pending orders as well as all current positions to which the setting applies. If close all is set as false, at the end of the clock filter or time filter, ARYA will not open any more positions, but will also not close any open trades. Use the max spread parameter to choose the maximum spread of an asset, which is the difference between the bid and ask price, in which ARYA can take a position. For example, if the max spread is set at 2 and the current price spread is set at 2.1, then ARYA cannot take a position. The display dashboard refers to the performance box just here. You can display your results in the currency of your account. Select true to have it visible. The value of the dashboard is set at default, which displays your results in the currency of your account as well as in a percentage. If you'd only like to display your results in a percentage, choose percentage, or if you'd only like to display your results in the currency of your account, click the currency. And finally, the instance ID allows you to run multiple trades with ARYA Pro on the same asset. However, the second trade can only be taken using a second chart and when the first trade has secured its break-even. With ARYA Pro, the default number for the first trade is 42. To launch a second trade, open a second chart on the same asset and choose your template. Activate ARYA Pro on the asset, input all the parameters that you would like, but in instance ID, perhaps choose 43. Once the first trade is secured, ARYA will automatically launch the second trade. If you want to start a further trade, open a third chart in the same asset and repeat the process, but change the instance ID to 44. Please note that you cannot input 14 or 17 into the instance ID, as these codes are used for ARYA Essentials and ARYA Trade Manager respectively. Now you can click OK, and all that is left to do is click on Sell or Buy.